Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna do a fun little Hermes unboxing. So I finally got a couple of pieces that I've been on the lookout for quite some time, and then a surprise that I didn't even know that I needed. Stay tuned because at the end I will give you an update on the status of my request for a second quota bag this year. Okay, let's get started. Now this first item I've had on my wish list for a couple of years. I first became aware of it in 2018. I got distracted by other things and didn't buy it in 2019. And then when I finally decided to try to get it in 2020, they were sold out online and in store. And earlier this year, when I got my Kelly 25, I again asked my SA if she had it in stock or could get it, and they didn't have it and she couldn't find it in other stores. So you're gonna be surprised because it's something that's usually readily available, but last year and this year, the stock has been really poor. And I'm not just talking about quota bags, I'm talking about regular items that are normally available. So when I went to pick up my Kelly, my SA apologized because they were sold out of all of the other non-bag items that I wanted. But I was on the website and saw that it had come back in stock, so I quickly put it in my cart and was about to check out. And then I thought, if it's online, then it's probably in store as well. Why don't you text your SA, see if she can get it for you. I've talked a lot about my relationship with my SA and the fact that I'm really grateful that she doesn't make me play this Hermes game in order to get quota bags. So I think the least that I can do is that when there is something that I'm actually interested in, to buy it from her and not buy it online. I think that's just courtesy. Okay, so here we go. So this is the horse paperweight in the color natural, and the booklet says it is made of Indonesian mahogany. I'm not going to use it as a paperweight. I'm actually going to use it as a statue on an end table or a console. I'll pop in a picture here so you can see how I styled it and where I put it in my apartment. I've been wanting this piece for about 3 years, so I'm so happy that I finally got it. My next piece was a happy surprise. I'll show you what it is and then I'll explain what I meant by that. It is the Hermes Cellier tray. So what I meant by a happy surprise is that I have been looking for a navy blue trinket tray to put on my coffee table because my sofa is this exact color blue, but I don't have blue anywhere else. So I was in no way looking for an Hermes tray. I've just been looking at different pottery places, small independent shops, furniture stores, that kind of thing. And I've seen this tray before at Hermes in a reddish orange color that I didn't really like. I had no idea it even came in the blue, but I found this on the website at the same time that I noticed that the horse paperweight was back in stock, and I thought this will be perfect. I was hoping that the color would be what it was on the website, and it absolutely was. I'll try to pop up a picture of this on my couch so that you could see how well they match. And you guys know for clothes, I do not like entire brand names written out. I'm a little bit more lax for home decor items. The reason why I love the writing on this plate, the wording, the lettering, and the font are exactly the same as it is on the top of the Faubourg store in Paris. So for those of us who are lovers of Hermes, the brand and the history, that's something that I think we would appreciate. It says Hermes on one side and Cellier on the other side. There's a piece of leather on the back, the craftsman stamp as usual, and it is made in France. On a side note, I know that Hermes is opening up quite a few workshops, and I know people are really hoping that means a lot more Birkins and Kellys in the marketplace. You guys know me and my theories. I actually think a fair amount of that space will be devoted to this kind of thing. Hermes Home, Hermes SLGs, things like that they don't need expert leather craftsmen to make. I'll give you an example. Those bustias and card cases, as far as I can tell, they don't require a lot of expertise. it really is just folded over leather. If I were Hermes and I was opening up a new location, if I can have a craftsperson make 20 of those Calvis or Bastias in a day, and they probably sell for between $300 to $400, that's essentially the price of a Kelly, whereas the Kelly would take a craftsperson days to make. Plus, those small leather goods sell like hotcakes because people want to have a small piece of the brand. So all that to say, I know people are hopeful that these new Hermes workshops are going to result in much more Birkins and Kellys, and I may be wrong, but I actually think it makes more financial sense for Hermes to produce more home, small leather goods, because it costs so much less in material, time, and labor to produce those kinds of things than it does to produce Birkins and Kellys. You don't flood the market with your most desired item, and you get to maintain your exclusivity. From a business perspective, to me, that's a win-win. Last up are a pair of Tulleys. Now, you guys know I don't particularly like Tulleys, but I find them to be a necessary evil, and I have been looking for a pair of Tulleys for my gold Birkin for over a year. The only reason I want Tulleys for that bag is that someone sent me a picture of a gold Birkin where the person did not use Tulleys and their handles were basically destroyed. That person scared me, and I decided I would indeed use Tulleys. If I'm going to get Tulleys, I want them to be as neutral as possible. I want them to blend into the bag as much as possible, and Hermes just doesn't seem to make neutral Tulleys very often. They're really great at making bright, bold, beautiful Tulleys, but that's just not my style. So a couple of weeks ago, someone DM'd me a picture of these Tulleys, and they were perfect. So for the past year, because I could not find the perfect Tulleys, I have been using Amazon Tulleys. They're not terrible, but they really bring out the orange in the gold color, which I didn't love, but they serve the purpose of protecting my handles for the past year. And it allowed me not to spend money on Tulleys at Hermes that I didn't love just to have my handles protected. So these definitely served their purpose. But then I got the DM with the perfect Tulley. So a big shout out and thank you to the person that sent me a picture of these Tulleys. So as soon as I got this DM, I tried to find it on the website. They were all sold out in this colorway. I went to the French website, the UK website, could not find these Tulleys in stock in any country. I immediately sent the picture to my essay, and she said they were all sold out at the boutique. But as I explained, the shortage of items has not just been for bags, it's been across the board, but she said she would try to hunt them down for me. So about 2 weeks went by after I sent my essay the picture of the Tulleys, and I hadn't heard anything. I just figured that they're sold out, and I just wasn't going to get them. So I didn't text her to follow up. I just kind of gave up. And then a week later, so this is now 3 weeks after I originally sent her the picture and the request, she sent me a text that she found 2 of these for me and she had them in store. She was really happy that she managed to hunt them down for me, and I was so thrilled that I had finally found Tulleys that I really liked. So because we were both so excited and wanted to see what they look like on my bag, she sent me a link. I paid for them through the link, and she had the Tulleys messengered to my apartment the same day because I was working from home and really couldn't leave my house, and she knew I really wanted to see what it looked like on the bag itself. This Tulley goes so well with the color gold. I tied one of them on my Birkin just so that you get an idea. So again, I would prefer it with no Tulley, but if I had to have one, this would be it. Let me know what you think. Okay, that's it for the unboxing, guys. There was one item, a pair of sandals, that I asked my essay for. She basically told me it's all sold out and there's very little chance that I will get it, so she wasn't able to get me that. But all in all, I'm really happy with the items that I got. Okay, now on to the Birkin update. And notice how I said Birkin update and not Birkin Kelly update. And I'll get more into that later. So there's good news and there's bad news. I'll start with the good, and that is compared to when I got my Kelly 25 earlier in the year, February, March or so, production has picked up significantly. When I went into store to get that bag, the shelves were bare. They didn't even have many of the bags that people generally aren't interested in. I'll try to take a screenshot from that video. There was one cabinet that usually holds 20 bags that had one bag in there. So early in the year, it wasn't just that there weren't many quota bags. My store didn't have much of anything in the first quarter of the year. They had very little silks, they had minimal homeware, so it was really nice to go back in store and see how much more stock they have now. The bad news is that my essay told me that there is little to no chance that I'm getting another Kelly 25 this year. So you may have watched my Kelly unboxing that I believe I posted in March of this year when I got a black Kelly 25 retourné with gold hardware. I had to wait quite a while for that offer, and at that time my essay really encouraged me to take that bag because the demand for bags in size 25 is so much greater. So if you're asking for a bag in a larger size like a Birkin 35, there's a reasonable chance that you might be able to get that bag even if you don't have a significant spending history because there's just less competition. But if you're asking for a Birkin 25 and especially a Kelly 25, your chances are a lot lower. So unfortunately, when I asked my essay, is there any chance that I will get my top choice bag, which you may remember is an Etupe Kelly 25 Cellier in Epsom leather, she basically told me that there is no chance that I'm getting that bag this year. She did tell me if I wanted another Birkin 30, they didn't have a huge amount of stock, but she could offer me black Togo with palladium or Eton Togo with rose gold hardware. Both are amazing bags. Birkin 30 is my favorite size for the Birkin, but I have my two dream combination Birkin 30s. I also don't think that I would have accepted either of these two bags if they were in size 25, because in that black and palladium combination, I would prefer that in a Kelly, and I already have the color Eton in a Kelly Cellier, so as beautiful as both those bags were, I wouldn't have accepted even if they were offered in size 25. I don't have the space or the money to just keep collecting an unlimited number of Hermes bags. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing a dedicated video on how I'm going about curating my ideal collection exclusively through store offers. So if I were just interested in getting every color in every combination, I would have gladly have accepted either of those offers. And certainly if I were interested in reselling bags, that Eton rose gold combination sells at a premium, but that was not the combination that I wanted, and I'm not going to accept a bag that may be someone else's dream bag to go on and sell it at a profit. So as you can see, stock is definitely better because I did get other quota bag offers, just not in the combinations that I wanted. However, back to some good news. My essay did say because production has improved, I should be able to get a Birkin 25 relatively soon. I thought it may be interesting for you guys to hear about the varying stock levels this year. Since my store is usually a pretty well-stocked boutique, and the issue of how much stock Hermes actually has in stores has been a really hot topic. So I think that's pretty great news that it sounds like if all goes well, I will be getting a Birkin 25 this year. As I told you guys, I'm really open to more colors for the Birkin 25, but if I'm being completely honest, I would prefer a neutral in a Birkin 25. So we'll see. And as far as why I can't get another Kelly 25 this year, well, there are two reasons. The first is my essay implied that I already got one, so they're not going to give me another one this year when there are people that haven't gotten any and are still waiting, which honestly I think is fair. The second reason is my criteria, which I'm not going to lie is pretty restrictive. So unlike the Birkin, where I'm pretty open to options, in Kelly 25, there are only two bags that I'm interested in. The Etupe Cellier Epsom with gold hardware and the black Cellier Epsom with palladium hardware. And those two are just really hard to come by right now. I'm not open to other leathers. I tried on a Swift Kelly a while back at a luxury consignment store. It had a few scratches, which I didn't really mind, but even though it was only a few years old, it hadn't maintained its structure very well, and it just looked really worn. And I just decided for now I'd rather not go with any of the smooth leathers. Box, Cadillac, Swift, probably some of the most beautiful leathers that Hermes produces, but just not for me right now. So that's another reason that the Kelly 25 isn't happening for me this year, is that I'm really firm about the leather. The other thing that I'm really firm about is the size. So if I were a bit more open to a Kelly 28, my essay probably would be able to work with me on getting another Kelly Kelly, but I'm not. So here we are. So even though the Birkin 25 was my third choice and the Kelly 25 Cellier was my first choice, and as you remember, I already got my second choice earlier this year, I'd rather get exactly what I want in that Birkin 25 than settle for a combination that isn't ideal just to get another Kelly this year. But what do you guys think about my essay being so brutally honest and telling me that there's really no chance that I'm getting another Kelly 25 this year? I really appreciate the straightforwardness of this. I know some people might want a more gentle approach. I find it helpful so that I'm not holding out hope for a bag that's clearly not going to happen this year. She did say that it's a possibility for next year if France starts sending my store more Kellys. This year, they just got so many more Birkins than Kellys, especially in the small sizes. The caveat is, as I've always maintained, if you are a VIP or VVIP, or you're willing to spend a ton of money, you will probably be able to get what you want. But clearly, I don't fall into any of these categories. So I hope you guys found my update interesting. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for my next video, which will also be about Hermes, but it's a story time that has a question about ethics and morals that I think you'll find really interesting. So please subscribe to my channel. That would make my day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.